Business Breakfast.
We're talking about the economics of discounting. Delighted to be joined in the studio by Chris Shaw, who's the CEO of a new discounting site, Mimojo. Chris, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Morning, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you with us this morning. Get to you in a minute, Chris. But first of all, let's just remind ourselves that last week in the studio was Donna Benton, the founder of The Entertainer, one of the most high-profile discounting operations here in the UAE. She sold it 5 years ago for more than $100 million. But last week, she came back as the new CEO. Let's remind us what Donna Benton had to say.
The Entertainer, it's just gone down a little bit. The visionary was a little bit different than mine. It needs me back. It's in my DNA. I founded it. It's in my heart. And I'm back to bring it back to what it was, bigger and better.
Chris Shaw, you worked for more than a decade at The Entertainer and your co-founders are ex-Entertainer. This is a competitive landscape. What are you going to do differently with Mimojo?
So, when we ideated Mimojo, we realised pretty quickly that we had to find out what the pain points were in the industry at the moment and come up with a solution to fix them. That's the only way we were going to compete and the only way we were going to evolve the industry. So those pain points, we found two. The first one was really around the redemption process itself, having to get an app out, select, search for offers, volunteer that you're about to redeem a discount, put PIN codes in or put a total amount that you want to pay into one of these apps. There's a load of faff around that redemption process. So we created, or harnessed a technology, should I say, that allows us to issue the saving or the discount in the form of cashback via the payment mechanism itself. It's that simple. You go into an outlet, you pay with your registered card, ping, you get cash back. So that was the first pain point we addressed. The second pain point...
So automatically, I go into, could be the coffee shop downstairs, and you did just buy Brandy and Tom a coffee on the way up here.
7 dirhams cash back, yeah.
You got a 7 dirham discount on those coffees?
7 dirhams cash back.
Cash back, okay,
correct.
Fine. Without doing anything?
Without declaring myself, without having to put PIN codes in, anything like that. Simply pay, ping, 7 dirhams.
Okay, fine. So that was the first pain point. What was the second one?
The second pain point was the control and choice has been taken away from the merchant and the consumer. And let's face it, those are the two main stakeholders in this equation. So what we wanted to do is give some of that control and choice back. And by that, I mean, we're 2023. Should we not be running a subscription? You know, so instead of paying a vast sum up front for an annual product, for example, we're rolling out a 10 dirham a month subscription after a 2-month trial, 2-month free trial period. So that means a consumer can dip in, dip out. If you're going on leave for an extended period, you can pause your subscription. And hey, if the merchants that you like aren't in there anymore, feel free to cancel. And in terms of merchants, the control and choice we're giving back to them, not every merchant is equal. We know that. So why force a model upon them? So we've allowed them to choose what works for them in terms of a discount level and a tenure.
So if they want to give 10% cash back, fine. If they want to give 50%, fine.
Correct.
It's not buy one, get one free.
Correct.
Okay, I get that. How are you going to make money? 7 dirhams off a couple of cups of coffee, and presumably you're getting a very small slice of that. You need massive scale to make that work, do you not?
Correct. There's tens upon tens of millions of discount transactions happening in the UAE alone every year.
How many?
Tens upon tens of millions. Now, I know that's not an exact number for the business breakfast, but that's just an educated guess from some of the research I'm privy to. So there is a model there. Yes, we take a subscription, which I've already mentioned, and we take a commission, a small clip of the transaction itself. Obviously, there's ancillary revenue opportunities as well, white labeling, and our technology is so flexible, the engine that we've built, it's very leasable.
So in terms of getting merchants on board, one of the issues, and Donna admitted this when she was in, and you've worked with her, you know this model well, and the Entertainer maybe lost a bit of its mojo over the past few years. part of it was just an existential change in the business model. Is the third-party aggregator app for a discount just a relic of the past, like a fax machine or those nice little disposable cameras that we used to get on tables at weddings 20 years ago, which were fun at the time, but have been replaced by smartphones? Because we know from speaking to restaurateurs that they like having their own app. We're speaking to people like Name My Dad of Gates Hospitality, relatively small boutique operator, but also the company that we work for, Dubai Holding. We've got Ticket, our app. MR has got its own app. People like to keep this stuff in-house. They like to keep the data in-house. How do you contend with that?
Yeah, so that's true. I mean, nuances in the examples you've given. Some of those are loyalties, some of those are promotional products, but that's probably another segment. I think it goes back to what I mentioned earlier, the choice and control. When merchants or merchant groups feel that they're losing that choice and control, it's inevitable for them to start thinking about doing something on their own. And again, that's why we've come into the market with our model to give choice and control back. So hopefully we can eliminate some of that. However, if we're unable to, our technology, as I said, is that flexible that we're in a position to solve their own app problem for them as well.
So the great thing about the entertainer business model, and why Donna made so much money, and good luck to her for that, was that they made money on both ends of the deal. I would pay 300 dirhams a year for my entertainer book, as it was back in the day, and then app. But merchants, whatever burger store it was, would pay the entertainer as well. And that's a great business model. Is that still viable?
Yes, I think so. I think so. And it's a similar model to the one that we're employing. As I said, we'll charge a $10 a month subscription, and we'll take a cut, a commission on the transaction itself.
In terms of the technology, how expensive is that?
The technology is pretty expensive, and it's charged on a transaction basis. So as we scale, we're paying for every transaction.
You've got some big backers, haven't you? As has the entertainer. And forgive me for sort of labouring the competition point, but it's inevitable that you will be compared to the entertainer, the incumbent, and you are the challenger. They've got big backers in GFH out of Bahrain, which bought them. You've got big backers as well. Tell us about the money behind your operation.
I can't talk about the money, I'm afraid, but what I can say, the backers have been with us since inception. So they've been part of the co-creation journey. They fully buy into our purpose to create and share value through frictionless processes, and indeed our vision to be the most advocated product in the market.
Well, good luck with that. Last question, can't let you go, 15 seconds. We had a question in last week. Is it okay to use the discount voucher on a first date? Chris, your view.
It's absolutely appropriate to use Mimojo on your first date. It is uber discreet, so yes, first date safe.
Happy to hear it. Chris Shaw, CEO and co-founder of Mimojo, discounting operation here in Dubai. Wish you the best of luck.
This is the Bite Size Business Breakfast, exclusively